Welcome into Sports City Nation. It is the Wednesday before the Super Bowl, so we're talking all things commercials. We'll let you know some of the favorites and who, speaking of favorites, who's the favorite to have commercial of the year this year?
Sports, comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. By idiots for idiots. Let's get crunchy and maybe a little drunk at the same time.
A little Doritos there. I like it. This is Sports Idiot Nation.
Sports, comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. Welcome back, sinners. This is Season 2 of Sports Idiot Nation.
Welcome into Sports Idiot Nation, another Wednesday episode before the Super Bowl. So it's that time to talk about Super Bowl commercials. And I remember having this conversation with Kelsey, who is living the dream. She has her dreamboat of a boyfriend and just has forgotten all about us. So screw her. It's just guy's day today. So I got some Super Bowl. I'm excited to do this with you because we didn't do it last year. So I want to see where your mind goes on talking Super Bowl commercials. So I want to start with this. The ones that will always just, I don't know if it was when I really, really loved football so much that it was where I was like looking at the newspaper and finding the stats and see who was leading the league in touchdowns.
It must have been the 1980s when the Niners were winning them. Yeah, probably.
So I'll say when I'm talking about like getting into pop culture of things, that's when so it was a little bit past that. And I will say what it started with was Budweiser.
Why?
Those damn frogs. Like that was the time for me. Like everyone remembers a time where Saturday Night Live was the best, right? Everyone has a time where Super Bowl commercials were the best. So I'm not thinking, Mean Joe Green. Here, kid. That's famous, but like
that'll get you arrested nowadays. Yeah, you're a pedo if you do that in 2026.
Fair. But like that's classic, but like to me, it's not in my top even 20, right? Even though it's worth talking about, which I just did. So I'm curious for you. Oh, I want to get into some of yours, but I want to start the show with this one because I don't know if you're going to bring it up, and it is so solid you will thank me for it. It is Tate office linebacker.
Oh my God. You derailed already. Like, hey, I'm gonna hand over you. I opened it with Budweiser, and oh, wait a minute,
let me blow your mind real quick. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
those were so awesome. I remember. So at this church I was going to at the time, they were one of those churches that were very, very pop culture-y in that whatever the thing was going on.
We call it contemporary.
Yeah,
the church of what's happening now.
Yeah, they were cool. Like they would have a video on the screen regarding, like I could see them now going like 6'7", and having fun with it. Well, they did a church linebacker. It was phenomenal. You would have loved it. And here's what it was. We got a guy who played for the Homestead football team. He was like a junior from the youth group, put some pads on him. And then we had guys like me, and because I helped out with the youth group, like whatever, we would have like the assistant pastor, we had the secretary, we had
Gemstones Rising.
People. Yeah, we had random people, just random members, and they would walk down the hall and they would just get blitzed by this guy. And we filmed it and actually did it. I got to find this tape, seriously. And then he was the volunteer linebacker. Like, if you weren't volunteering enough at church helping out, he would find you and tackle you. So
kill you.
So he was volunteering.
In the name of commercialism.
It was like Tate, like volunteer linebacker, and like you're running.
You only
No,
donated
I'm helping out
$15
this
this week.
Sunday. Yeah, you only gave $17 to Jesus. Well, he's coming after you. Like
Yeah.
it was so well done. It was hilarious. The whole crowd was like laughing, like, oh my gosh, that was so fun making this video. Mine was like the worst hit because I was like, yeah, just like on Monday.
Christ.
So like
Jesus Christ.
it was done so well. Like he was the nicest kid, and that was also funny because he had to like pretend to be like mean and stuff. Just brought back so many memories. That was so good. But Terry Tate, office linebacker, solid. All right, your turn.
The Holy Spirit was
Follow
with
that,
you.
buddy.
It is,
Yeah.
Well,
Praise
I was about to
praise
say
be
something,
Terry
and it was,
Tate, or praise be Budweiser.
or praise be Dorito, or praise be Pepsi, or praise be Clydesdale, with also other Budweiser. You had the Bud Light and Budweiser, like the Bud White-zer. But the first ones I remember of the Budweiser was more of the what's up, and then my wife loves her sushi, so it's the wasabi. So those come to mind. But honestly, I wrote paper because back in the day, like I was a good student, but I was allowed to have some freedom with my writing, so I always went for the classics. Like I can't write a paper about something more contemporary that you brought up. I couldn't run about Terry or about Budweiser or anything alcohol related. So I was writing about the IBM versus Apple feud. So obviously we had the 1984 commercial, and everyone remembers that. That's what launched Super Bowl commercials. It was the white guy throwing the dagger through the diversity of IBM. And what people forget is that year IBM ran an ad because it was an Olympic year, and they were trying to bring the world together. And then Apple said, we're going to have a white dude throw a javelin through the screen and blow up the whole 1984, because, of course, that's a George Orwellian thing. And IBM was trying to have the cute diversity year. They said, in the name of Ronald Reagan, F off. Now, of course, Apple's gone another way politically. But if you look back on it in the prisms of where we are today, 42 years later, it's kind of funny how politically incorrect it is if you really break down the dichotomy of it. So that's fun for me. That's what launched the epitome of what we know to be Super Bowl commercials that are supposed to be shattering, pun intended, but then have a different angle to today. Now, obviously, I was not alive like you were back in those 80s era, back when your Niners actually won Super Bowls, but before the Cowboys won their last Super Bowl. But that year that the Cowboys won their last one, Super Bowl 30, one that I remember, that is the first Super Bowl I remember. Now, that I can't say I remember this commercial, but when it was played, but I remember the rerun of it. And the older I get, the funnier it gets. And it was a Snickers commercial, and it was Marv Levy has his guys, of course, Thurman Thomas and Jim Kelly and Smith, defensive end, in the room, and said, guys, this is the year we're going to finally win a Super Bowl, and no one is leaving until we figure out how. And then, of course, breaks in, not going anywhere for a while, grab a Snickers.
Dude,
like
that was like,
and that commercial, like, you
like,
watch it, if you go back and watch that, and you're like, it's not really that good of a commercial, but if you break down what that was, and those guys bought into it, like, that is so effed up. It's so great. And all those guys were like, yeah, we know it. We sucked for 4 straight years, and this is a couple years removed.
Well, and
since they lost their last
for
one.
4 years. They won their AFC Championship game 4 years in a row. They didn't suck. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, it's heartbreak, but like, it's so crazy.
And my dad's been in tense moments, like, with them when he was obviously not only alive, but this is 30 years ago, when he was pretty much my age. He worked for these teams. He worked computer software. He sold the software to the Bills, and he was in the room back when Bill Pullian was a Buffalo Bill. And my dad's like, hey, this is the business, what we offer. And Bill Polian came at him and he's like, hey, I've been to 4 Super Bowls. And my dad really wanted to come back and said, how many of those fuckers did you win? Not a single one. Obviously, he didn't do that because he's, got to make money off the situation. So he has to, tip the cap, kiss the ring. But it's like, yeah, Bill Polian, who still hasn't done shit. Thank you, Indianapolis Colts. But it's funny to think about that and then have those personal connections to it and see that the Bills were able to make fun of themselves. And they got it wasn't just, hey, the head coach with actors or whatnot. Like Jim Kelly's in there. Thurman Thomas is in there. Bruce Smith is in there. Like all of them. And they're the ones grabbing it and like, hey, we ain't going anywhere because we can't figure out how the hell to win the Super Bowl. Like, that's funny. And I wish we could have more of that, teams making fun of themselves, but kind of getting more into personal connections. Like, obviously, Budweiser, even before the Budweiser, and I remember the Whassup, but I know for a fact that they really launched the This Bud's For You. And I remember, like, not Super Bowl, but other commercials, This Bud's For You, and you and you and you, This Bud's For You. Very catchy, but it did start with the Super Bowl. And I think that was like probably around the time you were born. Hell, and maybe even before the Niners win Super Bowls, but that was launched by the Super Bowl. And I always remember a story like about my cousin, his dad, like real good guy. I don't want to say necessarily that he was straight laced, but he was definitely more even killed, but has fun. And obviously, the older we got, the more he let loose. But I always thought when we were kids and teenagers, very straight laced, like this guy couldn't do anything wrong, didn't know how to have fun, whatever. And then hearing the story, he was the one who told it. His dad, my uncle, he was like, yeah, I remember back in the day when being at a Sox game after seeing that, I remember drunk and I went up there and I just yelled out. And this guy's like 6'8", so big guy. He's handed out. He's like, after we hit a home run and everything calmed down, I grabbed Budweiser straight out of the vendor's carrier, and I grabbed it, picked it up, and I said, this Bud's for you. And so that's always one of those, like, and again, that's probably not funny to most, but if you understand, like, your family, the straight-laced people, and it's like, man, back in the day, they were letting loose, and like, even back then, like 45, damn near 50 years ago now, people were getting drunk at a baseball game and referencing a Super Bowl commercial. Like that should grasp some people to understand, like, long before I was born, around the time you were born, people were entrenched by what Super Bowl commercials were doing. Even before that, IBM and Apple few that really launched what Super Bowl commercials were, there was a history to it, and people were tying one off and enjoying it and referencing what it was. So this history goes way back. It goes back to what Super Bowl 20, before Super Bowl 20, that was probably what Super Bowl 14, 15 era, when that first This Bud's For You commercial aired around 1980. So we're at Super Bowl 60 this year. It goes all the way back. It goes all the way back. So you can't take that for granted. And to even have like a thought and even have a memory that I even myself take for granted, but it's even tied into a Super Bowl commercial and something I think about every once in a while. I'm like, hey, that people let loose. They like to have a drink, and we still reference Super Bowl commercials from way back when. That's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome to think about.
Yeah. The Super Bowl for me is great because it's supposed to be now this year. There are some years where this isn't the case. This year is one of them where the Super Bowl was the Rams and Seahawks, and that's fine. But the Super Bowl is supposed to be the best versus the best, and then the national championship that IU just won. I was not glued to the TV when they went to commercial break. I just wasn't.
Never thought
But
about
the
it.
Super Bowl,
Never thought.
but the Super Bowl is something where, look, I don't even go to certain parties because I'm like, oh, that person's going. They're not going to shut up, so I'm not going. Like, I'm going to go or I let people know, I let friends and family know, hey, just so you know, I'm getting there early, I'm getting my seat, I'm getting my food, and I'm not moving, and don't talk to me. And they just
Well,
know.
Adam, let me ask you this: as someone that knows your team has been in the Super Bowl last bit over the last 15 years, you haven't won it in 30 plus years, but that point aside, when the Niners have been in it, do you still pay attention to the commercials? As a guy that's a Titans fan and haven't been in it in 25 plus years, are you so focused on the game that you forget about the commercials? Or are you still glued in and paying attention to what might be funny?
Glued in 1,000,000,000%.
It's an interesting angle.
Completely.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. Like, you're still looking for that funny commercial, even though you're like, oh, I'm still thinking about that last drive and what Purdy could have done and what
I'm absolutely
McCaffrey.
I'm absolutely thinking about that drive, but I am taking that minute to exhale a little bit and enjoy myself. Like, enjoy laughter with the other people, because let's see
Okay.
what Doritos is doing this year, right? Or Mountain Dew's gonna have Seal
It's the future.
sing, Kiss from a Rose with Mountain Dew, or whatever. That was
Oh, I
wild
forgot
last
about
year.
that one.
That
I
one was
forgot about
solid.
that one.
That was probably
That
one of
was
my
pretty good.
favorites. The Talking Babies have come back. They left for a
Oh,
few years
yeah.
and they're back.
E-Trade,
And
thank you.
so those have been pretty good.
I do invest. Not personal. No.
I think they'll be back this year as well. Also,
Okay.
here's one that I'm annoyed with. I want to ask you about this. Have you seen the Matthew McConaughey and Bradley Cooper? Do you know where I'm going with this? Maybe you haven't
I
seen it.
know Lincoln. I just think Lincoln. When I hear Matthew McConaughey, I just think Lincoln, and I stop right there. I freeze. So do explain.
Nope.
Do tell.
Okay.
Do tell.
Uber Eats. So the Uber Eats thing
Shit
is
on
that
me.
the
All
NFL
the
does not
ads I get in
use
my phone
excuse
now.
to sell food. Have you seen
Oh, yeah,
that?
the Eagles. Yes, I have with
Okay,
the
okay.
Eagles because
Well,
he's, one personality.
you are the one person on the planet, I feel like, that does not know this, but they just released the next series of commercial that they're gonna do for sure in the Super Bowl, but it is the most annoying thing, and here it is. Matthew McConaughey is driving and Bradley Cooper is out for a run. And so Matthew McConaughey is driving like 3 miles an hour, pulling up
So he
beside.
doesn't hit him with the car. Damn it.
So here's what he says, and I am not making this up. I'm not trying to be funny. I am verbatim saying what Matthew McConaughey says in his car as he is looking out at Bradley Cooper, who's like going for a jog. Are you ready? You're sitting down. You're ready for this? I'm going to act it out. Here's what he does. Food, 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 food. I'm telling you, you put a YouTube search in if you don't believe me. That is exactly what the commercial is. You're like, oh God, change the channel. What? That is the most annoying thing, to just say food, food, food over again, or over and over again for 17 seconds. It is the most annoying thing you've ever seen. And all I'm thinking is, oh God, this is what we can expect for a Super Bowl commercial. Like, they're going to play off that. Like, I get that it's kind of funny where they're like, my Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl and it was ruined by attempts to say that Uber Eats only is in it to sell wings, and then it's, okay, the funny, whatever. That I get. Like, if you want to do that storyline, in Baker Mayfield, he's a baker, and Jerry Rice was on one.
And that's why
he's
you
like
do it for not Super Bowl commercials. You do it during the season. Okay, cool. That's fine.
But if you're going to do Super Bowl stuff and have even another big star with Matthew McConaughey, you can't, like, annoy us. Don't annoy us with these stuff. We're just going to be frustrated. I don't understand what their angle is, but it's not good. So we'll have to see what Uber Eats does for the Super Bowl.
Replace Bradley Cooper with Riley Cooper being the real Eagle and just yelled out the N-word during the commercial. That would have got more attention, for sure. That would have been more entertaining than just
exciting
food. Yeah, right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll see. Doritos, I don't know if they're still doing this, but do you remember Doritos held a challenge? It the the commercials that we would see, the funny commercials put out by Doritos was was the fans made them.
Content created. Yeah.
Yeah, and now I don't know if they're still doing that. We'll have to see. I'm sure we'll hear, but
I did like their ones in the past couple years where it was like the different spices and they had like the Hispanic grandmother, and at first it's like, okay, they're just doing like some political racial ploy. And then it metastasized into something that was actually pretty damn funny. And the Chili Limon or whatever it was, those were pretty funny. And she turned into like the superhero, and it wasn't overplayed like she was trying to do something else, but they actually had some character and some quality to them. So Doritos I always liked, and like I alluded to earlier, like probably 15 years ago, where the kid went into the like time machine, the Dorito, and the guy came out and he handed it to him. The kid is like super old, but it's
that
like
was
his dad. And he's
fan-submitted.
like, like that one was balls out hilarious. That was so funny, and just the pitch of the voice, and it always made me think of like the State Farm and can I get a hot tub, which wasn't necessarily a Super Bowl commercial, but like it had the same vibe where it's like this idiot dude, but he's just like so caught up in what he's doing, and he's like, oh my god, it's the future. Those are funny. It's like those are so harmless and doesn't have anything to do with anything, but just like when I have a snack, I want to forget everything and I want to feel like an idiot. Sports Idiot Nation, baby. Like that's how I want to feel. And like, oh my god, I'm in the future. I'm so entrenched in what I'm snacking on right here. I got crap all over my fingers and my face. Like, what time zone am I in? What year am I in? Don't care either way. I love what the hell I'm eating right now. Doritos did well with that one.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the beer, the beer commercials, because you got Peyton Manning and what's his name? He jokes about having a touch of the tism. What is his name? I just drew a blank. Comedian who's been on the Bud Light stuff.
Theo?
No. Shane Gillis.
Shane Gillis. No, well, no, Theo. Yeah, but it's Theo is who does touch the tism. But yeah, but no, he's so like Shane Gillis. No, Shane Gillis does the it nicked me. So you're wrong on that one. Touch the tism is Theo, but it nicked me is Bud Light with.
So Shane Gillis, Peyton Manning,
and then the singer
Post Malone.
Malone, yes.
I'm excited to see what they do. I think they'll have some funny stuff.
Bud Light.
So just the beer guys in general. Miller Lite, I'm sure will do something funny. But so the beer stuff, and then Mountain Dew has made a surge, and so I don't know if they're gonna put in the money again to do something. I mean, that was just so over the top with like Seal and last year. So we'll have to see what they do. But I think the go-tos will be the E-Trade, the Talking Babies, I think the Doritos, and then all of the beer, whatever beer brand.
No, that's good. I like the prediction. I didn't even think about making predictions because it feels like something like Budweiser, like we think back in the 90s, especially with the funny ones with the Budweiser and the Whassup. But it became more serious over time. Of course, the Clydesdales. We all remember the Clydesdales, but that was even later on, and it became like God made a farmer. And I don't even remember that's Budweiser, but I tie it to it. And it was obviously with Clint Westwood or Eastwood, who did it with was it Chevy? He did that with Chevy, and of course Chevy always dabbles, and Ford even gets there too. But I was thinking now, like Budweiser, we're too serious for you, and then Bud Light, which is still Anheuser-Busch, is the opposite direction, which of course had both the political snafu, but now it's the Post Malone and the other comedian you just brought up,
Shane Gillis.
Shane Gillis, yeah, it's the polar opposites, even though it's the same goddamn beer, like but Budweiser, Bud Light, but one's trying to be more mature than the other, and that's very cute of them, even if Budweiser chooses to do. But it's like, we're going to backwalk Clydesdale in here to be nostalgic and try to be more conservative.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny how they all tie that in, but at the same time, I think you're right with what you're seeing with Mountain Dew. They're probably going to try to one up themselves from last year, and it's probably not going to work out. Now, to an effect, it could be to their benefit, because that whole seal commercial being the seal, it was really weird. It made sense at the same time, but it still stuck out because we're talking about it. So we'll see about that. As long as it's about Baja Blast, I'm here for it.
Yeah. Remember when Baja Blast was only exclusive to Taco Bell? I don't know what they did to
good
piss
old
off
days.
Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
They must have done something, because they're like, no, we're not going to be exclusive with you anymore. We're going on the shelves.
I wish we knew when we were in the good old days. Like, I wish people would tell us. And when Baja Blast was exclusively, yes, exactly. And I tell Indiana football fans all the time, we're in the good old days right now.
Oh, yeah.
If you didn't know, now you know. For IU football, for you as a 49ers fan, it's been longer than even the Cowboys. You might beat the Super Bowls, but you don't win them. So,
man, these Wednesday mornings are getting rough for me, because I stay up so late Tuesday night playing ping pong. I just got a ping pong table at the office, and let me tell you, that is the most fun thing to do while you're working. It's just to play ping pong. I gotta tell you,
it'll teach you how to fence.
oh,
The backhand, forehand, and you do some fencing. Like, you turn it up a notch, and
I am ambidextrous. Many know this about me, and so
you're amphibious, I believe.
Which hand am I doing the spin?
So your penis will never know when you try to jerk off. It's either one.
The stranger. So
danger.
Yeah. All right. So remember, those are, well, let me, before we go, I'll ask you, are your predictions pretty much aligned with mine, or do you have a dark horse, or do you have any where you disagree?
Well, my dark horse is not the Patriots. I think the commercials will be shush. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. I'm going somewhere with this. I think the commercials will be as big of a dud as Drake May is in this game coming up on Sunday.
Okay.
And he had to ruin it by stealing my thunder. Damn it.
All right. So on Friday, I think we'll talk about the music side of things, because people have laid off of Bad Bunny overall. I feel like they were hard on him at first, and then it's been like, well, okay, I don't know what this Charlie Kirk thing,
in the top 0.001% when it comes to Latin music. I have so many thoughts, and that's one of those with the Black Jeopardy. I bet you do, white guy. You do. Yeah, no, I have a lot of thoughts, and I consume way more Latin music than you do. I guarantee that. And I'm not talking about you, Adam. I'm talking about every viewer out there.
Yeah, no, I guarantee you do as well. New episodes of Sports Idiot Nation come to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We are going to talk music on Friday. Check us out wherever you get your social media. So again, reminder of Sports Idiot Nation coming to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, which means we will see you Friday.